Have you ever noticed the cruelest paradox of human performance? When the stakes are low, you are flawless. When no one is watching, when there is no money on the line, your execution is perfect. You flow, you operate with absolute precision. But the moment the pressure turns on, the moment a massive reward is placed right in front of your face, everything changes. Your heart rate spikes, your breathing gets shallow, your hands start to shake. You second-guess your strategy, you hesitate, and ultimately, you miss the shot. Why does this happen? Why do we suddenly lose our ability to execute the moment the prize becomes real? To understand the psychology of self-sabotage, we have to look back thousands of years to an ancient Zen parable. It is the story of the master archer. And if you have ever choked under pressure, you need to listen to this very closely. There was once a master archer who was renowned throughout the land. When he shot his arrows for practice, or simply for the joy of the art, he never missed. His form was water. His mind was completely empty. He could hit a leaf falling from a tree blindfolded. One day, a wealthy merchant traveled to the village to test this legend. The merchant stood beside the archer and said, "I want to see your skill. If you hit the dead center of that target, I will give you this polished brass buckle." The archer stepped up to the line. He nocked his arrow. He drew the bow. But for the first time, he felt a slight hesitation, a tiny fraction of doubt. He released the string, the arrow flew, and it barely clipped the outer edge of the bullseye. He hit it, but it was ugly. It wasn't his usual standard. The merchant smiled. He reached into his heavy coat and pulled out a prize of unimaginable wealth, a massive, shimmering bar of pure, solid gold. He placed it on the table and said, "Now, hit the target again, and this solid gold is yours." The archer stared at the gold. He thought about what it could buy. He thought about the respect he would earn. He thought about how his life would change forever. He stepped up to the line. He picked up his bow, but the bow suddenly felt 10 times heavier. His palms were sweating, making the wood slick. His breathing was rapid and shallow. His vision began to blur. He drew the string back, but his arms were shaking under the tension of his own anxiety. He wasn't looking at the target anymore. In his mind's eye, he was only looking at the gold. He closed his eyes. He released the string. Total silence for 2 seconds. The sound of an arrow hitting dirt. He completely missed the target. He didn't just miss the bullseye. The arrow buried itself in the dirt 5 feet away. What happened? Did his physical muscles suddenly forget decades of training? Did the wind change? Did his bow break? No, his physical skill never changed. What changed was his mind. The Zen masters call this the divided mind. The moment the archer started chasing the prize, his focus split in two. Half of his mind was on the mechanics of the shot, but the other half was obsessing over the gold. Think about your own life right now. Think about the arena you were playing in. When you were holding a high-stakes position in gold or navigating the massive, violent swings of the crypto market, what are you looking at? Are you looking at your technical analysis, your execution, and your strategy? Or are you staring blindly at your P&L? The moment you attach your emotions entirely to the payout, your hands will shake. You will close a winning position too early out of fear, or hold a losing position too long out of hope. You stop trading the chart and you start trading your emotions. True mastery requires the ultimate Stoic mindset. It requires you to look at the absolute chaos of the market, the business world, or the competition, and completely detach from the outcome. When the volatility hits, when the pressure mounts, you have to be able to look at the situation, shrug your shoulders, and truly accept that it is what it is. You cannot control the wind. You cannot control the market. You cannot control whether the merchant hands you the gold. The only thing you control in this universe is the draw of your bow. Stop obsessing over the payout. Stop letting the prize divide your mind. Surrender the outcome. Focus purely, entirely, and aggressively on your daily execution, and the gold will inevitably follow.